It's very, very difficult to know exactly what he has. We may have some kind of general idea, but our human intelligence in North Korea, pretty much non-existent. It's
Yeah.
hard to get into North Korea. We may have some indications in terms of, what's been shipped from places like Iran and those kinds of things. Maybe some Russia or Chinese stuff, but
Yeah.
it's hard to know, not necessarily what's real. It may all be real, but how much of it is still actually working? This military hardware, it requires constant maintenance and upkeep.
Yeah.
So, the engine and the motor may be able to propel the truck down the road, but the rockets and the missiles on it, they may not be in great operational shape.
Former Congressman Pete Hoekstra, great knowledge as always. I saw something over the weekend, and a great question was asked. His father and his grandfather, they do the saber-rattling thing, too. You'd have thousands of troops show up into the town square, and you'd have to have all the residents had to go, or else I guess they'd be punished. And this whole big display, this whole big act is put on. But what his father and grandfather wanted was the West to talk to him so they could get more grain, they can get more fuel, they can get more services for their people. It was really a negotiation tactic. With this guy, he just seems to want to start a war. Do you see a decided difference between his grandfather, his father, and him?
Well, I think the decided difference is this is a guy that actually has some real weapons in his arsenal. I mean, this is now a leader of North Korea that does have a nuclear capability.
Yeah.
This is a leader now in North Korea that does have some type of ballistic missile capability. He can maybe aim towards Hawaii. He could maybe hit it, maybe miss.
Yeah.
But we do know he could hit South Korea and he could hit Japan.
Is that the biggest fear immediately, Pete, that if because President Trump dropped 59 Tomahawk missiles on Syria, Syria went, oh, we probably should stop what we're doing. Russia, as much as they're talking noise, also said, well, this is a very different guy than Obama. If we were to preemptively strike this guy because of how he's treating his own people or the threats that he's making to Japan or to South Korea, he could very easily bomb the hell out of Seoul, right?
Yeah, that's really the 100,000 lives question, because this is not about money. This is about his capabilities with maybe some what we would consider obsolete artillery.
Yeah.
Troops with Vietnam era weapons. But when you got 1 million of them on the border, and you've got a bunch of artillery pieces on the border, and you've got Seoul 30 miles away from the border, you're talking about. I hate to think of the number of lives that, could be lost over a period of a week, 2 weeks, because you're not going to take out their whole army, in a couple of weeks or a month. It's going to take some time and effort to actually make that happen if you got into a hot war.